Hi folks, Lee here and welcome back to the channel. So as you can see, I'm playing a little bit of Club Penguin again. I have been playing it a little bit since my last video. As you can see, I've got a fully clothed penguin now, going for a kind of sort of Indie Jones type look, I suppose. And here we are at my igloo right now. As you can see, it's a little bit, empty. There's not really a lot going on. Now, unfortunately, we can have a wee look at the catalogues here, and a lot of it is a little bit out of my price range, so I'm going to go back to town and play some of the mini games and try and get some coin, so I can sort of decorate my igloo a little bit. I've always wanted to play a kind of like MMO type game, and I suppose this isn't like an MMO game, but it's always appealed to me to get into a game like, World of Warcraft or EVE Online, or probably more EVE Online. That's probably more my thing. But I do find these sort of games quite fascinating in a way, So yeah, that's kind of like one of my motivations for kind of beginning to play this, just to kind of partly like childhood nostalgia, but also kind of partly just like, playing a multiplayer game, I suppose. It's just completely random, to be honest. But anyway, I realise this video would be pretty boring if it was just you watching me playing Club Penguin games, so I wanted to use the opportunity to talk about something that I've been quite interested in lately, been quite interested in for a good couple of years now, in fact. Particularly the past couple of years, but really a lifelong thing. But I really wanted to talk about this recent Pentagon UFO report. It's been a topic that I've seen a lot more in the news lately than usual, and it's something I've been following for a good couple of years now. What I would say is, right off the bat, like, a kind of embarrassing fact about myself is that my favourite movie when I was a child was Independence Day, and I do feel like that movie kind of like shaped a lot of the interests that I have now, like space, aviation, aliens, science, all of that sort of stuff, But yeah, it's kind of a guilty pleasure topic of mine, the whole UFO thing. And obviously, like, until recently, like, it's been a topic that's been, like, not publicly at least taken that seriously. But I've always treated it as a kind of thing where, like, I don't dismiss it as being completely ridiculous, but I've always been more of the opinion that, like, I enjoy a good story, so even if there's, like, actually nothing to it, I still enjoy, reading about it, watching documentaries about it, that sort of thing. But obviously with this new report, it's been taken a lot more seriously. So basically, the gist of the report, to kind of sum it up, is basically saying that between 2004 and now, there's been obviously like many thousands of like different reports to do with UFOs and stuff like that, and we just lost that game, so made a little bit, but we're gonna jump in again. But anyway, so yeah, basically the gist of the report is between 2004 and now, there's been 143 UFO reports, or cases, I suppose, where there's been no explanation to them. So after like thorough investigation, considering all the different possibilities that that are kind of like natural, like weather phenomena, like satellite glare, aircraft and stuff like that. Basically, after all of the investigation, it's kind of turned up as like a cold case, right? They don't really know what's going on. But then there's also these further 18 cases within that 143 where they've confirmed that what they were looking at was 100% some sort of technology that isn't understood just yet. Now, in the report they mention that it's unlikely to be either aliens or a foreign, like, adversary, you know, like Russia or China have suddenly, you know, made an aircraft that's like much more advanced than anything we've got currently, you know, in the US or the UK or the Western world, or however you want to define it. No, we never got that one. But yeah, so I mean, it's really interesting, because what gets me about it is that if they don't think it's alien and they don't think it's foreign adversary, then what could it be, you know? Like, it seems almost like a little bit contradictory, because, you know, if you've got things flying about in your airspace, right, and they're pulling manoeuvres that, you know, are kind of beyond the laws of physics almost, you know, for anything we've got currently, you know, and they're basically saying that they're sure it's a physical thing, you know, like it's not like a sensor malfunction or whatever, and, you know, whatever aircraft that, you know, or platform they were recording it on. Well, if they think all of those things are true and they're sure about all of that, then what else could it be but either aliens or some foreign technology, you know? I mean, I suppose it could be some sort of classified program of our own, you know? So maybe we've made some breakthrough and, you know, like we just want to kind of like keep it quiet, so we're kind of like patching off the explanation to, you know, either aliens or China, you know? But the other thing is, this is something that, I don't know, I actually saw one other person in the internet that noticed this, but my favourite book is a book called Wings in My Sleeve by Captain Eric Winkle-Brown, and basically Captain Brown was, well, Eric Brown, he was a Royal Navy test pilot. I think he was in the Royal Navy for some time, but then he became a test pilot for a company or some like non-military aviation branch, if you know what I mean. So he was this test pilot. He'd flown like 490 different types of aircraft. Whoops, hot sauce. But yeah, he'd flown like 490 different types of aircraft, right? So that's the most of anyone ever, you know? So basically, there's never been any other pilot in history, nor will there probably ever be any other pilot in history with as much experience with different types of aircraft as Captain Eric Brown. Now, I can't remember quite off the top of my head exactly what chapter it was in the book, but there's a section in the book, and it's literally like a throwaway couple of lines, right, where he's talking about, you know, this is after the war. This is when, you know, you've got like the first like fighter jets, you know, and obviously tensions are high. There's the Cold War. Everybody's paranoid, right? And he talks about how he got a call up at the base one day, you know, whatever air base it was, you know, operating from at the time, and this woman local is basically, she's like, oh, there's a flying saucer, and, you know, there's something, and I don't know what it is, right? So he basically, him and his, you know, the people he was with at the time, they were kind of a little bit kind of, you know, obviously kind of laughing about it a little bit, like, you know, like, it's not the kind of thing you hear every day, and obviously, like, you know, it's not, you know, when you hear something like that for a random person, you're kind of like a little bit kind of, you know, maybe not like rude about it or anything, but you're kind of like, you know, are you sure? really. But yeah, so but then another pilot came over the radio while Eric Brown was at the base, and says to him, "No, like Captain, like you need to look at this. There really is something up here that, and I don't know what it is." Let's move on to a different game actually. But yeah, so he's like, "Yeah, you need to come and have a look at this because I don't know what it is either." So he gets I think it was a vampire, a de Havilland vampire, which was a really like advanced jet for the time, and he basically scrambles the vampire. He goes up and he goes to the area where this thing's been reported. And in the book, he basically says he looks at it, he has eyes on it for quite a few minutes, and then it just shoots off. And he didn't have a clue who it was either. Now, the thing that gets me is like, there's different degrees of like credibility when it comes to people who have observed these things. I think, and in my opinion, like in my personal opinion, like I don't know what to think of the UFO thing. I was always kind of in the position where I was like, I thought it was really unlikely that it was aliens. Maybe it could be like a secret military thing. That was always more my kind of belief. But when I actually like think about that line in the book, and then like, I see the stuff that's going on now with the reports, it's like if there's anyone that I would trust, like if I could pick one person in the world, out of people that obviously I never personally knew any of these people, but if I could pick one person that I would trust to make a kind of credible judgment on whether something's like an unidentified thing or not, it would be Captain Eric Brown, because he's got more experience with different types of aircraft than anyone ever has. So I actually read the book quite a few years ago, and then obviously the past couple of years it's been a more prevalent topic with UFOs, and there was the footage from the USS Nimitz, and there's been a lot. I've watched all of the kind of stuff on Joe Rogan. He interviewed Captain David Fravor, or that was Commander David Fravor, who personally saw one of them, and he interviewed Bob Lazar and George Knapp, who's a reporter who kind of broke the interview with Bob Lazar. And I mean, I do find it an interesting topic, and I don't pretend to really have much of an opinion on it. I just, I'm just kind of like in awe that the conversation is happening at all, and I just kind of like, keep up with it, and I'm not especially invested in it, but at the same time, like, I keep a casual interest. But yeah, like, I don't really know where I'm going with this video, but I just found it really interesting, that this stuff is coming out, and I want to know, some thoughts in the comments below. Like, what do you guys think of this? It's just something I kind of wanted to ramble on about a little bit, as you can probably, gather. But yeah, so I mean that's my personal opinion. So to kind of break it down, like basically I don't know, but I do think it's weird that all of this has come out, but the thing that really gets me is that part of that book, that I've seen one other person in the internet kind of acknowledge it, but yeah, I just like that's almost the part that kind of like tips it over the edge for me, because if it was just the stuff coming out just now, I would kind of be like, yeah, it could be aliens, but it could be like secret military stuff. But you've got, but then you've got this guy from 60, maybe 70 years ago, even, who saw something very similar, that time ago. So either you're assuming there's some group of people that have had this technology for ages and ages and somehow kept it secret, or there's something weird going on. Um, and again, I don't know what that weird is. It could be aliens. It could be something completely new that we just don't have any like frame of understanding for yet. But I actually think, like, regardless of what this is, whether it's aliens or a secret military thing or something else completely, like, almost regardless of what it is, it's gonna be interesting to see, what comes out about this in the next few years, because it's obviously this topic that's, really taken off in interest, and even like the kind of mainstream media is like needing to sort of kind of acknowledge it now. So yeah, um, yeah, that's me ramble. That's my kind of not rant, but yeah, rambling over. Um, so right, okay. So how much do we have now? Probably not that much more. 329 coins. Okay. Um, right. I've not really mastered the art yet of like being able to like talk and pay a lot of attention to the game at the same time just yet. Um, so I suppose I haven't really done much in the game. I kind of just rambled. But let's go back to the igloo and see if we can buy anything. Um, right, better igloos. We can get a fish fossil for free, so let's do that. And I like that. That's nice. Let's go for that. Let's just buy, like, yeah. Okay. So how do we like do the place up? What's this? Oh right, so wait a minute. So this is almost like a kind of so you can go to people's igloos and like rate them. Okay. Right, let's get some stuff in this igloo. What? All right, okay, we can place it. Thank God for that. A fridge like freestanding right next to her like glass table, coffee table. Right. No, we want the fossil. Um, can we like rotate that? Because it's kind of at a bad angle. Or is it? I can't even tell, to be honest. Right. Let's have one last look in here. What about this one? So yeah, I mean, I maybe start doing more videos like this. Where I just play a game and kind of like ramble in the background. But then again, like it does kind of take my attention away from the game, I suppose. But I suppose it's just more like a practicing thing. But yeah, it looks like we're going to need more money. But I'm going to leave the video there. As you can see, my battery's getting a little low. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your opinion on UFOs. So just the whole kind of like situation that's happening at the moment with UFOs. I don't know why. It's just a topic that like I'm not crazy about, but you know, it is interesting. Um, and if you think this is the kind of content you would like in the future, then please do subscribe. Bye, folks.